My girlfriend of 6 years blindsided me, emotionally cheated with some Xbox guy, lied about our entire relationship, told everyone I was the problem, dumped me overnight for a jobless stranger she'd never met, and walked out of our home like I meant nothing. I'm 24, and up until 2 weeks ago, I thought I had my whole future mapped out. I dated my ex, 23, for 6 years. We were each other's first everything. First kiss, first love, first real heartbreak. For 4.5 of those years, we were long distance, surviving on weekend visits, late night calls, and the belief that once we finally lived in the same place, everything would fall into place. And for a while, when she finally moved in with me, it felt like it did. Living together was comfortable. Not perfect, but nothing ever felt alarming. We didn't have screaming arguments or dramatic fights. We were just a normal couple in our early 20s trying to figure out adulthood. I work a job where I'm on for 6 straight days at a time, often nights, and then I get 4 days off, but the first 2 are usually spent recovering from the night shifts. She worked maybe 30 hours a week. Our schedules rarely synced up, but when they did, we cooked together, watched our shows, ran errands, slept beside each other. To me, things felt stable if a little routine. But a couple of weeks ago, something shifted. She was quieter, more distant. Not obviously upset, just not herself. Finally, I asked if she was happy. She said no. Then she unloaded 6 years of resentment I had never heard before. She said she hated that we split rent and bills equally even though I made more, even though she was the one who insisted on going 50-50 when she moved in because she didn't want to feel like she was mooching. She brought up the money she owed me from when she first moved in and was unemployed for a bit. She said every time I wrote down something she asked me to buy, snacks, toiletries, small stuff, she felt like it was being held over her. I only kept track because she asked me to so she could pay me back later, but apparently she resented that too. She said I didn't do enough housework. And I admit, sometimes I was exhausted from shifts and didn't do as much as I could have. But she only ever mentioned it in passing once or twice. She said she didn't buy me gifts anymore because she felt guilty about money, but she never told me that either. She said I didn't plan enough dates, even though she never initiated one herself. And then she said the line that hit the hardest: we feel like roommates. Everything she said could have been fixed, easily, if she had told me sooner. Instead, it felt like she had been quietly rewriting our relationship for months, without saying a word. I didn't fight her on any of it. I told her I heard her. I told her I wanted to fix it. So I tried. Immediately. I started doing more around the house. I planned dates, paid for everything, bought her things she mentioned wanting. I showed up. I put in effort. I tried to prove that I wasn't dismissing her feelings. This was all happening while we were weeks away from completing on our first house together. A house we chose. A place we talked about building our future in. I told her that once we moved in, I'd handle all the bills and half the mortgage so she could save, work less, breathe more. I genuinely thought that would reassure her. Instead, she told me she was thinking about moving back in with her parents, 2 hours away. Just like that. 6 years together. Everything we survived. Everything we planned. And she was willing to walk away because she'd bottled up issues she never told me about until the very end. She said she didn't know if she loved me the same anymore. She said she didn't know if our relationship was right for her. She said maybe the distance between us had been growing for longer than she realized. Meanwhile, I'm left replaying every moment, trying to figure out when she emotionally checked out. Was it months ago? A year? Did she fall out of love quietly while I was working back-to-back night shifts and thinking we were building something real? I keep wondering why she didn't talk to me sooner, why she didn't give us the chance to fix things before reaching the breaking point. Looking back now, I can't believe how blind I was to the cracks forming. During our entire 6-year relationship, she was never really affectionate. I can count on one hand the number of times she complimented how I looked, maybe once, and I remember it because it was so rare it almost shocked me. She said, "I love you." But even those moments felt spaced out, almost like it took effort for her. At the time, I didn't think much of it. I thought not everyone was expressive. I thought her love just showed up differently. But now, with everything that's happened, it's hard not to wonder if she was half in from the start, and I was the only one holding the relationship together. Things got worse over the last few months without me fully noticing. She started becoming close to some guy she met on Xbox. He's 21, I'll call him Jay. At first, I genuinely didn't care. I trusted her. I never wanted to be the jealous, controlling boyfriend. But little things started stacking up. They played together every night. They messaged constantly. She laughed more with him than she did with me. And then he sent her a 50-pound birthday present and a handwritten card, sent directly to our address, which she had given him without even mentioning it to me. I told her honestly that giving a random online guy our address wasn't okay, especially because of my line of work, and that it felt strange he was sending expensive gifts. I wasn't even angry. I was cautious. But somehow she flipped it into me being insecure, and I felt guilty for even bringing it up. Later, I found out she told Jay that I was making a big deal to embarrass me. Then it escalated. She started spending nearly every free minute talking to him. If she wasn't on Xbox with Jay, she was texting him, laughing at something he sent, or ignoring me while he kept her attention. Meanwhile, I was working shift after shift, recovering, thinking we were both focused on moving into our new house. I asked her multiple times if she could spend a morning with me before work, just to watch a movie, cook dinner together, anything. She'd brush me off because she was in the middle of a game. She never said it out loud, but it became painfully clear. My presence was an inconvenience compared to Jay. Then she went to visit her parents. I was supposed to go with her, but we had a tiny argument beforehand. Nothing serious, and she decided to go alone. I didn't push it. I thought some space might even help. I couldn't have been more wrong. When she came back, something in her was gone. Completely gone. She told me flat out that she wanted to break up, that she was moving back home, that she didn't have feelings for me anymore. She repeated the same points about housework and us feeling like roommates, as if those were the final nails in the coffin and not the excuses she clung to after emotionally checking out months earlier. But then the truth slipped out piece by piece. She had been venting to Jay about our relationship for weeks behind my back, detailing every insecurity, every frustration, every petty thing she held on to but never said to me. She admitted, after days of denying it, that she had developed feelings for him. She said it in a strangely calm voice, like it was nothing. Like she hadn't just dropped a bomb on the last 6 years of my life. And then I found out more. I learned that on the same night she told me she wanted to break up, she shut off the privacy camera in the living room so she could talk to Jay for hours without me knowing. She fell asleep on the phone with him while I was working a night shift, completely unaware. She told her best friend everything too, and her best friend told her to choose what makes her happiest. And apparently, that meant leaving me for some online guy she had known for barely a year. A week. That's all it took for 6 years of my life to unravel into something I barely recognize. We broke up a week ago, and because of timing and logistics, we were still living together while she arranged to move out. I thought it would be civil, maybe even bittersweet. I thought she'd at least show some respect for what we built. Instead, 3 days after ending things, she went to meet him. Not just meet him, but stay with him at a hotel halfway between their houses. I only found out because she tried to disable the Ring camera on her way out, like I wouldn't notice her sneaking off dressed to the nines, hair done, makeup perfect. It felt like watching a stranger walk out of my home. That moment shattered whatever was left of my heart. This was the girl who used to shake when she held my hand for the first time, who cried on the phone with me during long distance when she missed me, who swore she couldn't imagine loving anyone else. And now she was running into a hotel bed with someone she claimed to have feelings for, while still sharing a roof with me. She had never been with anyone else before me, not sexually, not romantically. I guess part of me always believed that meant something, that it made us different, that it gave us stability. But she threw all of that out the window, like it was nothing. When I asked her, calmly, why she let things get this far with him, why she didn't try to fix things with me first, she had no explanation. None. Just shrugged and said she didn't know. And then, as if twisting the knife wasn't painful enough, she told me she was in love with him. After meeting him once, I'd bet money he paid for the hotel, maybe the meals, maybe even sent her gifts to our house while we were still together. The thought alone makes me sick. The worst part was when he drove her back to our house to collect her belongings. I opened the door to see him standing there like he had any right to be involved in the aftermath of my life. She claimed nobody else could help her move out on such short notice. I didn't believe her for a second. That entire moment, I had to hold myself together, not because of her, but because I couldn't risk my job by doing something stupid. I swallowed all my anger just to protect everything I've worked for. And she didn't stop there. She compared us. Compared him to me like I was some failed prototype. She said he was more loving, that him driving 3 hours to see her showed how much more he cared. She told me the sex was better. I shouldn't have asked, I know that. But when everything you thought you were collapses, you grasp for any piece of truth, even if it burns your hands. Every answer she gave was like being stabbed. Over and over. She's staying at his parents' house now. Or he's staying at hers. They're basically living together a week after she left me. And she's been cruel, shockingly cruel, over text. Talking to me like I'm some stranger she's annoyed with. Like I never mattered at all. Then came the money. She owes me £1,500. Money she promised she'd pay back if I let her come back the next day to get more of her things. I agreed, trying to be civil. And then she refused. She also left sentimental things scattered around the house for me to deal with, as if packing them was beneath her. She even agreed to pay the legal fees to cancel the mortgage we were supposed to get together, then refused that too. It's humiliating to admit, but my confidence is gone. Completely gutted. I know looks aren't everything, but Jay isn't exactly some model, he's really not. I have a stable career with a pension, a brand new car I worked hard for, a solid future lined up. Meanwhile, he's unemployed, living with his mom, on PAP and universal credit. And still, she left me, the man she lived with, planned a home with, spent 6 years with, for him. And that's what haunts me the most. It wasn't about looks. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about stability. It was about attention, validation, novelty. Someone who made her feel wanted in a way she never communicated she needed from me. We were so close to finally having a stable home and future, and she walked away like it meant nothing. When she left for good, she didn't hesitate or look back. She just stepped into his car with this cold, empty expression, like 6 years together were a burden she'd finally shaken off. Watching her drive away with him, this guy she met on Xbox, felt unreal. I kept thinking, how did I lose her to someone who didn't even have a job? When she came back with him to collect her things, I snapped. I won't pretend I handled it gracefully. I said hurtful things and acted petty, but honestly, after everything she'd done, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't justified. I spent 6 years loyal to her. I never cheated, never disrespected her, never made her feel unsafe. I trusted her completely. And she threw me under the bus like I was just some placeholder boyfriend. What hurt the most was when she said she didn't regret anything. Not sneaking around. Not building an emotional relationship behind my back. Not going to a hotel with him 3 days after breaking up. She said she had nothing nice to say about our 6 years together. I couldn't believe it. I genuinely thought we were just in a rough patch, not at the end. I keep torturing myself imagining her doing all the things she and I used to do, watching movies, going for drives, laughing at dumb jokes. Only now it's with him. Part of me still loves her, and I hate that. Even after all the lying, the secrecy, the way she abandoned me emotionally long before she left physically. She told me that during the 2 weeks after our first argument, when I was trying harder, giving more effort, she felt things again. Then later she admitted, she only said that because she didn't know what else to say. It's like every truth from her is followed by a lie. Could I have been more affectionate earlier? Maybe. Could I have communicated more? Probably. But she never told me what she needed. She blindsided me and monkey branched straight into another relationship. I told her she emotionally cheated because she did, sharing our issues with him, staying up on calls, falling asleep together, hiding things from me, forming feelings while living with me. She denied it all, calling me a shit boyfriend, and saying our relationship was boring. Now she's telling her friends and family her version of the story, painting me as the entire problem. Meanwhile, she barely lifted a finger in the relationship for months, barely showed affection, barely acted like she wanted to be with me. Yet somehow I'm the one to blame. 5 days. That's how fast she made it official with him. She even bragged about going shopping with him to make me jealous. The same girl who used to preach about how emotional cheating was as bad as physical cheating is now doing exactly what she once condemned. It feels like I'm grieving someone who died. Because whoever she is now isn't the girl I spent my early adulthood with. It's like she became a stranger overnight. But the more I think about it, the clearer it becomes. She didn't leave because I was uncaring. She didn't leave because our relationship was boring. She left because she found someone new and checked out before I even knew something was wrong.